And so I'm quite happy to just be back in person. I've missed interacting with people, and I've missed getting to know you, and it's been too long. And so I'm happy to see all of you out today. And for those who are joining us in Zoomland, welcome. It is a beautiful day to give God thanks. It is fall, not one of my husband's favorite seasons, because as far as he's concerned, it means winter is coming. And I think it's 2 more months, 3 more months of sunshine before things begin to get gray. This is also a wonderful time because it is the first Sunday of September. September is a wonderful month for me because it is the month where my first son was born. And so Zahir will celebrate his birthday this month. It is also one of my favorite human beings who is no longer with us, my dad's month as well. And so this month we would have been making jokes about getting old and who is not. And so I miss that, but I celebrate that. So if September is your month for celebrating a birthday, I want to offer you a blessing. I bless the day that you were born. It was a good day, and the world is better for having you in it. And if this month you decided to hook up with that guy or that girl that you thought was awesome, and now you are on that journey called marriage, I want to say, I give thanks for the day of your union. It was a good day, and your love and patience for each other is an example to the rest of us that marriage can work. So, a warm welcome to everyone as we join in worship. Let us join in the call to worship. Put your confidence in God.
All those who have God as their helper will rejoice.
God gives justice to the oppressed and food to the hungry.
God frees the prisoners.
So put your trust in God's goodness.
Let God's reign endure forever. Let us worship God.
Today we acknowledge the land with these words. We meet today on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat nations. Nations who agreed to share the resources of the land with the dish with one spoon wampum covenant. We seek to live in respect, peace, and right relations with them as we live, work, and worship upon their traditional territory. We are also mindful of broken covenants and the need to strive to right all of our relations. All of the full writers of the gospel acknowledge that understanding and following Jesus' teachings is challenging. Today we light the Christ candle celebrating the gift of the Holy Spirit, who leads us into understanding and living out our faith in the Lord. Amen. Let us join our hearts as we sing our gathering hymn, Voices United 87. I am the light.
Of the world, you people come and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and be. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and the shepherds have found their way home, the work of Christmas is begun. To find the lost and lonely one, to heal the broken soul with love, to feed the hungry children with warmth and good food, to feel the earth below, the sky above. I am the light of the world. You people come and and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and be. To free the prisoner from all chains, to make the powerful care, to rebuild the nations with strength of goodwill, to see God's children everywhere, to bring hope to every task you do, to dance at a baby's new birth, to make music in an old person's heart, and sing to the colors of the earth. I am the light of the world. You people come and follow me. If you follow and love, you'll learn the mystery of what you were meant to do and be.
Let us pray. Eternal God, first and last, or beginning and or end, beside you there is nothing or no one greater.
All living things, by your Spirit, you are among us still, breathing new life, turning anger into reconciliation, division into unity, grief into consolation.
Through your grace, you open new directions and new possibilities for the world you love. So we offer you our lives and our labors in worship and in service, joining in creation's song of praise and adoration.
Holy, holy, holy are you, O God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and always.
God of mercy, we know you judge the world with an eye for the poor and outcast.
We confess we fail to live with the same eye for those on the margins. We have been silent when we should have spoken up, and uncaring in the face of injustice. We have not shown the same generosity to others that you have shown us. Forgive us for putting ourselves first, and help us to serve you with the kindness we meet in Jesus Christ. Create in us a clean heart and renew the right spirit within us, so that we can love you deeper, serve you wholeheartedly, and care for the people around us.
Take comfort in this assurance: whoever we are, wherever we are in our first faith journey, the steadfast love of God never ceases. God's mercy never comes to an end. We are always redeemable, loved, and forgiven. Amen. The seed of faith for today.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Seeds of Faith. I am Reverend Siddiqui. Here we have this beautiful car. It's a lovely car. Looks like it has nice seats. It's a wonderful color, probably gives a smooth ride. But what makes this car work? What makes it able to drive so that people can enjoy it? The wheels, the engine, and it definitely needs gas to move. How about this light bulb? What makes it work? You're right. It needs some kind of power source, either batteries or electricity, and the filament. That's that little strip of wire at the top inside the bulb that emits the light when the power passes through it. Just as cars and bulbs and other things we need something to make it work. They need something for it to do what it was made for. So it is with our faith. Our seed for today is making faith work. What does the Bible have to say about making faith work? James chapter 2, verses 14 to 17 says, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith but do not have works? Can faith save you? If a brother or sister is naked and lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and eat your fill,' and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good of that? So faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead." What does that mean? So what is faith and what is works? Faith is belief. Works are the things we do because we believe. And as Christians, we are to engage in tangible activities, actions that people can see and feel and hear to express our belief, not just talk about it. James gives a good example to show us how our faith should work. He says, if a brother or sister is naked or lacks daily food, and one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm, and eat your fill," and yet you do not supply their bodily needs, what is the good in that? There is no good in that. We make our faith work in these circumstances by providing what is needed: food, shelter, protection, leadership, or help. We also pray for these people, but we must also help them in tangible ways. If they are hungry, we feed them. If they are in need of protection, we protect them. If they need clothes, we provide clothing. That is how we make our faith work. So I'm sure you've already been thinking about how you can make your faith work or show that you have faith in your class, in your home, in the church, in the community. We make our faith work through community service. We do that in how we participate in church, when we give our time, share our talent, give money, or serve in the leadership of the church. We also do community service in the community by volunteering. We clean up, we participate in helping in the food banks, either by giving food or serving food. We work with the clothes banks. We collect donations of clothes and bring them to the places where they give them to people who need clothes. We give our donations of money, of time, of food, and other things that are needed and that are asked for from time to time. These are some of the ways that we make our faith work. Can you think of some other ways that we make our faith work? So here is the seed for this week. Faith is not just shown in what you believe. Your faith is also shown in what you do. When there is a need, we are called to put our faith into action by praying and doing something tangible. And when we put our faith into action, that is when it really makes sense. Faith and action go together. So this week, put your faith in action and help. See you next week. Bye.
Prepare to listen to the scripture readings. We will sing along to More Voices 8:5. You are holy.
show us the way. You are freedom, you 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 show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way. You are justice, 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 you show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way. You show us, you show us, you show us the way.
The first scripture reading this morning is from Mark 7, verses 24 to 37. Jesus left that place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know it, yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by an impure spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, born in Syrian Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. First, let the children eat all that they want, he told her, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Lord, she replied, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. Then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter. She went home and found her child lying on the bed, and the demon gone. Then Jesus left the vicinity of Tyre and went through Sidon, down to the Sea of Galilee, and into the region of Decapolis. There, some people brought to him a man who was deaf and could hardly talk, and they begged Jesus to place his hand on him. After he took him aside, away from the crowd, Jesus put his fingers in the man's ears. Then he spit and touched the man's tongue. He looked up to heaven and with a deep sigh said to him, Ephatha, which means be opened. At this, the man's ears were opened, his tongue was loosened, and he began to speak plainly. Jesus commanded them not to tell anyone, but the more he did so, the more they kept talking about it. People were overwhelmed with amazement. He has done everything well, they said. He even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. The second reading today is from James 2, verses 1 to 10 and 14 to 17. My brothers and sisters, believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ must not show favoritism. Suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy old clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing fine clothes and say, here's a good seat for you, but say to the poor man, you stand there, or sit on the floor by my feet. You have not discriminated against yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my dear brothers and sisters, has not God chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom he promised those who love him? But you have dishonored the poor. Is it not the rich who are exploiting you? Are they not the ones who are dragging you into court? Are they not the ones who are blaspheming the noble name of him to whom you belong? If you really keep the royal law found in Scripture, love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing right. But if you show favoritism, you sin and are convicted by the law as lawbreakers. For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. May God bless the reading of this word.
Here to hear the spoken word, we will listen to Voices United 5, 6, 7. Will you come and follow me?
Will you come and follow me if I but call your name? Will you go where you don't know and never be the same? Will you let my love be shown? Will you let my name be known? Will you let my life be grown in you and you in me? Will you leave yourself behind if I but call your name? Will you care for cruel and kind and never be the same? Will you risk the hostile stare? Should your life attract or scare? Will you let me answer prayer in you and you in me? Will you let the blinded see if I but call your name? Will you set the prisoners free and never be the same? Will you kiss the leper clean and do such as this unseen and admit to what I mean in you and you in me? Will you love the you hide if I but call your name? Will you quell the fear inside and never be the same? Will you use the faith you found to reshape the world around? Or through my sight and touch and sound in you and you in me? Christ, your summons echo true when you but call my name. Let me turn and follow you and never be the same. In your company I go, where your love and footsteps show. Thus I'll move and live and grow in you and you in me.
Let us pray. Gracious God, open our hearts and minds by the power of your Holy Spirit. As the scriptures are read and interpreted, may we hear what you are saying to the church today and find the courage to follow your will. Amen. Have you ever had your faith tested? Many, if not all, Jamaican mothers would reprimand their child when they're pushing them to their limits to say, "Don't test my faith." We would say, "No test my faith, pitney." Some people think that faith tests only come in the form of religious persecution. But the truth is that faith tests come in various forms. Tests of faith happen every time we have to make a response that will show what we believe. So our tests of kindness come in the form of someone asking for assistance. Our test for patience comes in the form of long waits. Our tests of forgiveness comes in the form of being hurt. Our tests of hope come in the form of being in times of despair. Our gospel readings today take us through two encounters with Jesus in which faith is tested, but not just the faith of the people asking Jesus for help. Jesus' faith is also tested. The story tells us that Jesus is somewhere near Tyre and he is trying to keep a low profile. He's tired. We do not know if he's tired of helping or he's tired of the crowds, but we know that he is trying to get a moment to himself where he does not have to deal with the crowds or anyone asking for assistance. In psychological terms, we would call that compassion fatigue. It's for people who, in helping professions, who after a while, the experience of helping drains them emotionally and psychologically, that they need time away to regroup themselves before they can resume helping others. Here we see some of Jesus's humanity. Like many caring professionals, he too understood the burden of care that was placed on him. And he too had times where he wanted a break from this work, if only for a moment. In fact, whenever one begins to help people in need, we find that more people want to be helped and that more people are coming. And if that need is growing faster than we are able to provide, then that becomes frustrating. Faith enables us to persist in giving assistance even when the help looks like only a drop in the bucket. And we persist because we believe that it is our purpose, our calling, and our responsibility to serve and to give. So it is in this frame of mind that the Syrophoenician woman encounters Jesus. She begs Jesus, not ask, to heal her daughter who is oppressed by a spirit. And Jesus's response is startling, coming from the Son of God and certainly coming from a man of faith. He says, first, let the children eat all they want, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. And Jesus said two things in what seems like an incredibly rude response. He did not give a flat out denial. He told her she needed to wait. First, let the children eat what they want. Every time I hear this line, I think of all the times I have heard people in response to requests for help and aid say, we must help our people first. When nations ask America, for example, for assistance with a dramatic situation that is affecting them, and the response is America first. I think in their minds, they think it is more important to help their own people than to help those who ask for help. But that perspective ignores the fact that the person begging is in a worse position. And while this position of helping our own is logical, one should care for one's own in the same way that one cares for a stranger. But what that position does is that it lacks compassion. What was Jesus thinking when he said such a thing? Based on Mark's line of argument, Jesus was trying to tell the woman that he could and would heal her daughter, but not at this moment. His focus was on helping, healing his own people. His focus was on mending the relationship between God and his people, the Jews. However harsh he put it, he was saying, not yet. Now is not the time. And I believe it was Jesus's fatigue talking and not his faith. For in our fatigue, in our anxiety, in our anger, we say things that we don't really mean, but that we actually mean because that's how we're feeling at the time. The Syrophoenician woman, being driven by her faith in Jesus's ability to heal her daughter, she knew the extent of her situation. She knew that she could not wait. The torment of that her daughter endured caused her to be bedridden. She was desperate for Jesus's intervention. She believed that a word from Jesus would heal her daughter. And her response to Jesus reflects her acceptance of the fact that her presence is ill-timed, but also asks Jesus to make an exception. Lord, she replied, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. In her reply, this woman acknowledges not only that Jesus's people have what they need, she also shows that to Jesus that there is more than enough to spare. She cleverly reconfigures Jesus's metaphors of crumbs and dogs to show Jesus that as far as she was concerned, there was a certain abundance with what Jesus offered, and it was so abundant that it was running over. As she takes on the imagery of the dog unto herself, she openly acknowledges to Jesus that she does not even need to be treated like the children to get what she needs. She's not asking for a seat at the table. She's only asking for a crumb or two from it, and she needs it right away. Oftentimes when people appeal to us, it is not because they need some extra, it is because they are desperate. And what they ask of us is, for us, crumbs. To look in our cupboards if we have an extra tin of corned beef or baked beans or evaporated milk, to look in our cupboards if we have extra. When we go to the supermarket, which is a privilege for those who are not poor, we can say, I'm going to buy an extra of something to put. That's crumbs for us. If you interact with the industry that serves food, the supermarkets, and you see the amount of garbage and things that are not so spoiled that gets thrown out, tons and tons, and occasionally some of them will take some of that crumbs from the Costco's and the Walmarts, and they would package it and send it to the people who need it. It's crumbs. So when people appeal for help as people of faith, we ought to recognize that yes, it is important to care for those of us who are among us, but what they're asking for is really not that much compared to what we have. When people appeal for dental care, it costs $800 to get a root canal for somebody who has a severe dental issues. $800 is somebody's rent. So they have to choose, do I manage this toothache or do I pay my rent? So when they ask for simple concessions of dental care, they aren't asking for much, they're asking for crumbs. When we gather together and we put together all our clothes and we look in our closets and think, I've gained a few COVID pounds, I don't need these. And so I take them down to the clothes bank and we give them to, I don't remember the names of our banks that now receive them, but we give that to them. It's crumbs. They're the stuff we have had the privilege of outgrowing. Crumbs. Putting our faith to work, as Jesus puts it, is about being willing to recognize need and respond to it. Not just by believing that this is injustice and this is wrong and people should have food to eat, but to actually try to remedy the situation. Her response stirred Jesus's compassion. Yes, he was there to work with his people, but this did not prevent him from helping other people too. And with that, he heals her daughter and tells her that her argument is what convinces him. He told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter, and when she returns home, she finds her daughter well. If we follow this story in sequence, we could say that this encounter with the Syrophoenician woman has a dramatic impact on Jesus's ministry. For as he leaves Tyre and goes to the region of the Decapolis, and that is a town that is chiefly populated by Gentiles, he heals a man who is deaf and could hardly talk. Jesus' approach has turned hands-on. Whereas he healed the woman's daughter at a distance, he said a word that the social distance at its best. He just said a word and the daughter was healed wherever she was. He heals this Gentile in person with methods that would make anybody gag in normal times, and much more so in COVID times, touching and using his spit. This woman's persistent faith has inspired Jesus to open the floodgates of blessings. Her belief in him has stirred him to respond to anyone who asks. And her trust in him by saying, "You just say the word and my daughter will be healed," encouraged him to openly heal other people like her. Though Jesus tries to control the spread of the news of his healing acts, he cannot, because active faith produces blessings. And when people are blessed, they cannot but talk about it and give thanks for it. So that brings us to our epistle for today, James chapter 2, 1 to 10 and 14 to 17. And here James paints a picture of what the actions of a person of faith looks like. He says, those who believe in Jesus the Christ must not show favoritism. We do not treat the person with the golden rings any better than the one who wears rags, just as we do not treat people according to their contributions, which implies that people of faith should not expect to be treated better than others because of how they contribute or who they are. And I know for some people that might be a tough pill to swallow, but I can guarantee you that pill cures entitlement. Instead, we treat people according to the royal law found in Scripture, and you and I know them well. Love your neighbor as yourself. And we know this law is twofold. The first part is you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your soul, with all your mind. And the second part is to love your neighbor as yourself. And these two are not separate. They are one law in two parts, which is why James says, violating any part of it is violating all of it. The second characteristic of people of faith is that those who believe in Jesus the Christ must respond in tangible ways to the needs around them. Faith and works are inextricably tied. They cannot be separated. In James's words, faith without works is dead. Sending positive thoughts and prayers are a part of what we do. It is one of the things we have to offer at a distance to people who need help. From a distance, our thoughts and our prayers have the power through Jesus Christ to heal, to encourage, to comfort. Our intangible words can have tangible results. But when we have opportunity, we also have a responsibility to help in tangible ways. As people of faith, it is our duty according to our resources, without partiality, without favoritism, in the spirit of love for God and our neighbor, to act. Otherwise, what good is it? It would be like salt losing its saltiness, or a lamp being covered. As we begin to embrace this new normal, we are invited to think about putting our faith into action. At a time when need is great and will be growing, how can we show compassion as people of faith to the needs around us in the church and in our community? Also, ask yourself, what is the state of my faith? Is it active? Or does it need something to get it going? What is it that you need to get going? Faith needs to be active to work. And faith that isn't working is of no benefit, neither to the person who has it, nor to the people around. Faith without works is dead. What do you need to get you going? Amen. As we give thanks for the gifts that we have received, we will sing along or hum along to More Voices 191. What can I do?
What can I do? What can I bring? What can I say? What can I sing? I'll sing with joy. I'll say a prayer. I'll bring my love. I'll do my share. What can I do? What can I bring? What can I say? What can I sing? I'll sing with joy. I'll say a prayer. I'll bring my love. I'll do my share.
The book of Proverbs declares that those who are generous are blessed, for they share their bread with the poor. We do not bring bread today, but we offer a portion of God's gifts to us. May our gifts and our labors, whether paid or volunteered, meet the needs of those who often go without. Let us pray.
All generous God, you call us to reach out to those in need in kindness rather than judgment, and with generosity, not just good intentions. Bless our gifts and our actions for Christ's sake, that our faith in his love will show in our actions through the church that bears his name.
As we lift up our prayers of concern for our world and for our people around us and within us and among us, we will join our hearts in singing along or humming along to More Voices 171. Christ has no body but yours.
Christ has no body now but yours, no hands but yours. Here on this earth, yours is the work to serve with the joy of compassion. No hands but yours to heal the wounded world, no hands but yours to soothe all its suffering, no touch but yours to bind the broken hope of the people of God. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands but yours. Here on this earth, yours is the work to serve with the joy of compassion. No eyes but yours to see as Christ would see, to find the Christ has no body now but yours, no hands but yours. Here on this earth, yours is the work to serve with the joy of compassion. No feet but yours to journey with the poor, to walk this world with mercy and justice. Yours are the steps to build a lasting peace for the children of God. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands but yours. Here on this earth, yours is the work to serve with the joy of compassion. Through every gift, give back to those in need. As Christ has blessed, so now be his blessing. With every gift, a benediction be to the people of God. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands but yours. Here on this earth, yours is the work to serve with the joy of compassion.
Let us pray. God in whom we live and move and have our being, we come to you in prayer as the summer season draws near to a close. We give thanks for the occasions we have enjoyed catching up with family and friends, to travel for recreation and restoration, and let our worries go.
We are grateful for each moment to savor the beauty of creation. Refresh us for the season ahead. We pray and renew our commitment to serve you.
Oh God, Jesus faced many demands wherever he went and pressure from critics, whatever he said, whatever he did. We pray for all those who have not found rest this summer.
For those whose work is stressful, exhausting, or unappreciated. For those whose livelihoods remain uncertain because of the pandemic or through disasters caused by heat, fire, or storm. We pray for those who make hard choices, about work or school, or what comes next, about relationships and priorities, or about social policy and community leadership. May they know your strength and guidance day by day.
Today we remember those for whom this summer has been filled with suffering.
We pray for those who have lost loved ones and those facing an uncertain future or a difficult diagnosis. We pray for those who have lost their homes for whatever reason, and for those who despair about the climate crisis and what can be done to repair the suffering earth.
We pray for all those who join efforts to relieve suffering of any kind. May each one find courage to face tomorrow in your company. O God, we need the embrace of your presence, each in our own way. In particular, we think of Valerie's daughter-in-law's niece, Tyler, and the baby, and we pray for a smooth transition. We pray for the Southwood family, especially Ken and Bonita, who have lost the father and the husband, and pray for their comfort and strength during this time of loss. As we prepare to leave this service, walk with us. Show us how to live each day as those who follow Jesus. For we dare to pray the words he taught us, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our closing hymn, the Happiness Song, composed by Bob Leonard.
I'm gonna leap for joy, walk with the Spirit, gonna spread some love, and say a word of kindness, gonna help someone along the lonesome road. Come and join my happiness song. I'm gonna leap for joy, walk with the Spirit, gonna spread some love and say a word of kindness, gonna help someone along the lonesome road. So come and join my happiness song. Gonna leap for joy, walk with the Spirit, gonna spread some love and say a word of kindness, gonna help someone along the lonesome road. Come and join my happiness song. I'm gonna leap for joy, walk with the Spirit, gonna spread some love and say a word of kindness, gonna help someone along the lonesome road. Come and join my happiness song.
Receive the blessing. Go now and invest your lives in the works of faith. Make a name for yourself for generosity and compassion. Fulfill God's holy law by putting love into action as eagerly as for others as you would for yourselves. And may God be your defender and provider. May Christ dispel all that disturbs or disables you. And may the Holy Spirit make you rich in faith, love, and merciful in action. Go in peace to love and serve. In the name of Christ. Amen. Have a good week, everyone. Our choral parting, one of my favorites, Take Up His Song.
Take up his song of peace and go into the world. Take up his song of peace in every moment. In every moment of the journey, we're laying down our lives, lay them down in peace, lay them down and take up his song. Take up his song of hope and go into the world. Take up his song of hope in every moment. In every moment of the journey, we're laying down our lives, lay them down in hope, lay them down and take up his song. Take up his song of faith and go into the world. Take up his song of faith in every moment. In every moment of the journey, we're laying down our lives, lay them down in faith, lay them down and take up his song. Take up his song of love and go into the world. Take up his song of love in every moment. In every moment of the journey, we're laying down our lives, lay them down in love, lay them down and take up his song.